No, he's dead. He's dead. Hey CVPs, welcome to my channel. How are you doing? It's me and Hope right now. Good boy. Good boy, Hope. Way, yo. I know, right? My little pet dragon. Wow! Thank you. Come on, Hoppy. Come on. Come. Yeah. Good boy. Absolutely. Absolutely, you can.
Share with my friends this incredible thing.
Yeah, this is his time of hour where he's just so excited.
Yeah, I won't.
Oh, you come closer.
Okay, tell me when to stop.
You can just come closer. You want me to let him fly? You want to videotape
I want
it?
to get one first of him just stationary like that in the sun. Oh my goodness.
Oh, he's so happy. Are you happy? Mwah, mwah, mwah. Hey, pose for the picture.
Smile.
All right. Come on, let's fly for the... Come on.
Let me get on video, okay?
Okay. So he does also tricks like this. 1. Are you ready? 2, 3, go! Come on! Way!
My goodness, he comes back all the time. Huh?
All the time. He comes back all the time.
Oh,
And what else is really cool is like, whoa, he just faked. Wait. Oh, look at that.
oh my goodness.
All right, ready, fly? 1, 2, 3, go.
He just loves playing, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's a little goofball.
He just loves playing.
Now he's pretending he's offended and he's all off.
Oh, he's a happy bird.
Oh yeah, he's so happy.
He's a lucky bird.
Very lucky,
He's
very
a very
happy,
lucky bird.
very wholesome.
Yeah.
Wholesome and healthy, and
Yeah.
he has,
It can tell you take really good care of him and getting him out to exercise all the time and
yes.
eating and having somebody to bond with. I mean, how can it get better than that?
And he has a family too, like he has 3 other parrots to play with. And
Does he really?
Yeah.
Any other macaws? Or?
no, he's the only macaws. I have 2 Amazons and a lorikeet.
Oh, wow.
Oh, he's up there in the highest spot.
Yeah, he loves that spot.
Guarding.
Well, I better keep walking.
Okay.
Thanks, Caroline. for
Nice
letting me
seeing you,
take a
Dill.
picture.
I want to talk to you about something really serious that's on my heart since the last couple days, and that is vets. So what happened is, you guys know that Dino died 2016 and he got toxic poisoning and he started throwing up, and I freaked out and I called the vet, and the vet says bring in your pet, and I brought in my pet, and the time where I brought Dino in, he could sit on my finger, everything was fine. I was so worried, I just couldn't like want to lose him, and I was like, better vet, better like safe than sorry, whatever. So I brought him into the vet. Once I was at the vet says like, sorry, we don't see birds anymore, but we just treat dogs and cats, but you can go over to the exotic animal healthcare. They have a bird doctor. So I went over there and they turned me down like 3 times. They're like, sorry, we have no availability today, but we can give you an appointment for tomorrow as an emergency for $250. I was like, no, today is the emergency. I need to go today. I need to see a vet today for Dino. And they're like, yeah, sorry, we can't. And they gave me like 2 other phone numbers, and I called them. Either they weren't available or not open, or they didn't see birds. So I called like 10 vets, and after like an hour in the car, Dino got weaker and weaker and weaker, and all what I could do was bring him home and watch him die. And like to this day I felt guilty because I brought him to this stupid vet, and I thought if I wouldn't have bring him to the vet, and he wouldn't be so stressed and weak that he would pass away so fast, and I wouldn't even thought he's gonna go away the same day. Once I got into the car, he could sit on my finger. Once I got home an hour later, he was like in my hand, and that's what I thought. Like I'm still to this day I'm kicking myself in the ass, like why did I try to bring him to the vet, because he would have been alive if I wouldn't have brought him to the vet.
He's dead in my hand right now, and he's not waking up. He's not waking up.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
I know, it was fine. It was fine. Why won't you see him? He's not dead. He's dead. He's dead.
I'm so sorry.
I was driving 2 hours around trying to find a stupid vet who would see him. Nobody will take birds. And now he's dead. He's dead. My baby's dead. Why did you send me away? You should not send me away. You should have seen him. He was worth it.
I know he was. I know he was.
Now he's dead. Now he's gone. He's gone forever. Oh my god. Oh my god. It went so fast. So fast. Oh my god. My bird is dead. He's dead. He's dead. Couldn't you have, like, squeeze him in today? Couldn't you have seen him today?
Honestly, we really couldn't have, and if something is that sick, especially a bird, we don't have the facilities to hospitalize a bird. The stress in the car sometimes, it doesn't take a lot to stress out a bird. It really doesn't.
Oh my god, he's not dead. He's gone forever. He's gone.
And I see it over and over and over again where birds are so delicate and they are so, like, special, and once they show weakness, it's already too late, and then, like, they go downhill so fast. And I thought, like, if I would have treated Dino at home with, like, respiratory powder, he had just a respiratory sickness, like, I could have treated it. He was fine once, he could sit in my hand, he had his balance and everything, and he got stressed out in the car while I'm trying to find a vet for him. And then there's other situations where I see, like, on social media, there was this one family who had 2 beautiful macaws, and one green wing and one Catalina macaw. And earlier this year, in January 2018, all of a sudden her green wing is showing signs of illness, so she brought them to the vet, and the vet put him in an incubator and got him sedated, and within like a day or so he died, which was so tragic and so sad. And now 6 months later, her Catalina macaw just passed away like a couple of days ago, and she posted, and I was so sad when I read that. I was like, no way. And again, there was like a deja vu, like the same incubator box where her previous green wing was, her Catalina macaw is now. And it went so fast, all of a sudden, like, she stopped eating, and she just passed away. And they sedated her, they put tests on her. Like, I think, like, vets stress out birds, and birds get weaker and weaker and weaker, and finally they die at the vet. And not only with birds, even like with dogs. I just talked to a friend of mine, and she paid like over $6,000 to rescue her collie, and they did a lot of tests, a lot of like operation and stuff like that. They couldn't save him, and he passed away, which was so sad. And she got this big huge bill. So I'm not saying don't go to the vet, I'm just saying use your judgment. And I think there's this sick bird treatment kit for $100. I bought that. It's in my house now. If something happened and a vet is not available, I can always use that sick bird treatment kit. it's in my house, and link is in the description. I'm not kidding. I'm not like, this is not a sponsored advertisement. I for my safety and because I have 4 birds, I just love to have something like this in the house because I know exactly what to do and I don't feel so helpless. I think vets are killing birds instead of healing birds. I mean, it's fine to go to a vet if there's like, you know, a nail problem, or like they need clipping, or they need like, you know, like grooming and stuff like that. But every time I go to the vet, Angel or Faith, they are screaming, they are stressed out, they are not happy, and they are traumatized. And that's just for grooming. Imagine a sick bird who's already weak in the system. They go into an environment that is like new to them, and there's this doctor and he takes them, towels them, and runs with them in another room, and they're already weak in the system, and they're like, where's mommy, where's daddy? And bam, they are like, they feel abandoned, they feel like left behind, they feel abandoned by their owner. And he's screaming, as you can hear. Really hard for me to let him go and hear him scream. Jeez. And then they can't fight it, and then they're weak, and then all those tests, all those medications, all those injections, and then they die. Even if they needed to sedate and do x-rays from a bird, they sedate it, and they like, basically they pin your bird down like this, like here's a picture. That's horrible. The vet don't sedate the birds and give the birds anesthesia. They pin down the birds so cruelly just so the bird can't move, so they can make an x-ray of the birds. Like, here's a picture. This is crazy. It's so sad to see something like that. Like, I think that's abuse. Like, I think that's cruelty, and the bird can't move. They pin it down like a frog, and then they put it in a machine and do some x-rays, and then, you know, and if they move too much, they sedate him, and then it's too much for their little heart. They can just only take so much, their little bodies, and then they end up dying. If there's like little nail problem, or there's like little scratch, or if they have like a little wound, I use aloe vera, and I have to show you in another video how I use aloe vera to heal my birds. I have a garden. I grow aloe vera in my garden. That's the best organic like medicine out of nature that you can give to your bird and help them heal. And then bandage up the wound so that it's closed and there's like no bacteria coming in there, because a wound that's closed up will heal faster than an open wound. And yeah, so I feel like next time I'm not gonna run to the vet for every small detail. I'm trying to nurse them at home first, try to save them and give them a lot of like heat and warmth in a dark room, and just let them rest and sleep. And you know, if I go to the vet for every small little details, there's also like a risk that I will come home without my bird. And I'm not gonna do that anymore. I mean, I have a good vet, but still I feel like vets can kill birds or animals or whatever, and some vets are just so greedy and so expensive, and they just like see an opportunity to like just like, you know, slap you with like a $5,000 check. And there was also another situation where I had like a small little cockatiel before even I had Dino, and this cockatiel had a virus, and I bought him from a bird mark for $20. And that cockatiel was so cute, and I was hand feeding it, and all of a sudden within one day he got weaker and weaker and weaker, and I ran to this vet, and that vet, as soon as I walk in, they grabbed my cockatiel baby out of my hand and put it in an incomba, gave me a questionnaire to fill out, and once I filled out all the questionnaire, I felt like I should go home with my bird. I shouldn't be here with my bird. So I was just there for 20 minutes, and I filled out the questionnaire, and I was like, you know what? I changed my mind. Can you give me back my bird? I want to go home with my bird. I changed my mind. And they're like, what? No, like your bird now was in the incubator for 30 or 20 minutes. You owe us $50. I was like, what? I didn't even ask you for any service. Yes, but you know, you stepped into our facility and you owe us now $50. I was like, no, I'm not paying you $50. And they're like, we're not giving you your bird back. I was like, what? And then when they came back with I think they came back with an estimate what they're gonna do, it would be like, I think like $2,500. And I was like, what? My bird was just $20 and you're charging me $2,500 to like, you know, like fix him up. And in the end, he's not gonna survive anyway. And I was like, I want my bird back. They're like, we're not gonna give you your bird back. Just pay the $50, unless you pay the $50. And I was like, fine. So I write a check, pay them the $50. Oh, and then even the vet doctor came out, the avian doctor, and she was like, you know what? We put this bird now for 30 minutes in our incubator and we treated him, so you owe us $50. But if you don't pay it, this bird will be mine. And he was a beautiful peat color cockatiel. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe what I'm hearing right now. I was like, no, I want my bird back. So I paid him the $50, and 30 minutes later, my little cockatiel, whose name was Baby, died in my hand. Like, I hate vets, guys. Like, I feel like, you know, nature will take its toll, but like vets will make, they don't heal. They don't heal on vets. Like, vets just give you a big bill and then you end up losing your baby anyway. So you have to, okay, you guys, you have to use your judgment. Whatever sickness your bird has, you have to use your judgment when to go to the vet and when not to go to the vet. That's just my experience and what I'm seeing right now, like with the other families and friends that I hear about vets. Even Robert and Willow. Like, Willow was a baby and Robert brought Willow to the vet. And the vet told him like, oh yeah, Willow's sick, and he paid like over $2,000 or $3,000 in vet like fees. And they says, yeah, his baby is really sick. Like, Willow's really sick, and he's gonna die if he doesn't pay that. And Robert's like, okay, you know what? Forget it. I'm not gonna pay it. Like, just give me my bird back. And he went with his bird Willow at home, and look at Willow now. He survived. I think if there would be more tests and more like medication, Willow have died. Like next time when I see Robert, I'm gonna ask him about the story, and he can tell you exactly his experience with the vet. Like, the vet is killing animals. Like, I don't think the vet has heart. They're just in for the money. Some vets are in for the heart and for animals, but most vets aren't. They are greedy and they just want money, and in the end they do all these tests and then they die anyway, and they leave you with like heartbreak and a big bill. So this is what I read on this forum. And this guy lost his baby bird because they says let's do a blood test, and he agreed, and right into the blood test the vet came out and said, sorry, your bird just passed away. So I think if a sick bird is sick, he's so stressed and fragile that going to the vet with him stress him even more out, that they die quickly. It's mostly good intentions for owners to save their birds, mine too, like when Dino was sick, but in the end I have no bird anymore, and I was so bonded with Dino. I love him so much. He was my treasure, he was my first love, he was my soulmate, he was my one and my all. For like 6 years we were like this. He was the first thing I see in the morning when I wake up and the last thing I see at night. Like, we would sleep together, we'll eat together, we would watch TV together. Like, he and me, we were like this. Because of Dino I started loving birds. So I just want to put it out there, be careful with vets, because most of the vets, they're just money vampires. They just want to like give you a lot of like they just want to give you a big bill, and then you end up with a dead bird plus the vet bill. And it happens like so many times that I'm seeing it, not just with my bird, but also with my friend's dog, with my friend's cat, with people on Facebook and forums with their birds. So just use common sense. If you have a lethargic bird that is really very lethargic and sick, try to nurse it at home. I mean, like, if you go to the vet, he's gonna end up dying anyway because of the stress, and the vet is gonna stress him out more. So vet kills birds.
Well, I'm gonna talk about my experience with the vet. There are two types of vets. There are
like people coming behind you, so they won't stop and look at you.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna keep it. Alright?
Yeah, hold on.
So there are two types of vets. There are really good vets or really bad vets. You need to be careful because if you got a bad vet, you can lose your pet forever. And that's what happened to me twice. And the third time I learned the lesson from the past, and I didn't lose Willow. So what happened is, when I got Willow for the first time, I went to this vet up in the valley. Willow, can I speak? And this old lady came to me and said that my bear was sick. And I was like, what? Because my bear was not sick. I mean, I didn't notice anything bad about my bear. And she said, yeah, your bear needs to be hospitalized like right now, and because if not, your bear is gonna die. So fortunately for me, I had an experience in the past with a macaw I lost in my country, in Spain. I lost him at the vet. I hospitalized him, and the next morning he was dead. So I learned from that, and this time I say no to this lady and say, no, I'm not gonna leave my bird here because I don't think my bird is sick, and you didn't even test him yet, so I'm not gonna leave my bird here. You only want, I didn't tell her, but I thought she only wanted the money for the hospitalization because it's pretty expensive. So I left, and Willow's not dead. Then the second time...
Why would they say Willow is sick?
So this lady was saying that Willow was sick because he was a baby and he was crying for food. And she said that...
She's still crying for food.
Yeah, he's still crying for food, and he's almost a year old, okay? It's just the way he is, he's a baby. And this lady said that he was sick because of that, because he was begging for food too much. And no, I think he's the way he is. He's like a baby, you know, he's a baby actually. And that's why he said that. And then the second time I went to the vet, I noticed something in his crop, and I touched it, and I didn't know what it was. So I got scared, and I went to the vet. And this guy came and touched it, and he said, oh, this is metal or plastic or something. Your bear is gonna die if you don't remove this immediately. So I say, okay, just do it and do an endoscopy. I don't want surgery because it's very risky for your bird's surgery. So I asked him to do an endoscopy, and he did it. And by the time he did it, he already knew that what she actually had, it was a nut. So
a nut was stuck in her crop.
Yeah, and the nut was stuck in his crop, and the vet didn't tell him that. Didn't tell me that it was a nut. He just told me that he couldn't get rid of whatever he got here with the endoscopy. So he told me that I should proceed with the surgery, and I say, I don't like surgery. And he said, yeah, but if you don't do the surgery, your bird is gonna die because he got something in his crop. By that time, this vet knew that it was a nut, so it was not risky for the bird.
And a nut can just still solve.
Yeah, it can be solved by itself. And he didn't tell me, and he put my bird in risk. He did the surgery, and after the surgery, he survived. Fortunately, Willow survived. He charged me almost $1,000 for that. Also, he charged me $1,000 to get rid of a gnat.
Wow.
Macaws eat gnats every day, and that he didn't tell me it was a gnat. He put my bird in risk. I almost lose it, and then also when he gave me back my bird, he told me that he recommended me to hospitalize Willow for 1 day, and I say no way, and I don't know what it will happen if I left my bird there. I hear a lot of stories of people bringing their birds to the vet and losing them overnight. So there is a lot, and I really recommend those people, and I recommend everybody who got birds, try not to bring them to the vet, because it's really risky. It's very risky. I lost just one macaw in the vet, but I know a lot of people that they lost their birds.
What happened to your dog in the vet?
The same. I hospitalized my dog, and 2 days later she died with, well, she was old. She was 16 years old. Yeah, it was that it's more with birds. I think, vets are kind of good. Some of them, they are good with dogs and cats. But when it comes to exotic animals, they are not that good. They are inexperienced, and
Even
it's
board
risky.
certified vets, avian vets.
Yeah, go to them, and even with them, be careful. Like, try not to bring your bird to the vet until you really feel that you need it. Don't bring your bird because you wanna bring your bird, because you can lose your bird. Like, 1 day you will lose your bird. Birds are very smart, and they got overwhelmed in the vet, and if you hospitalize your bird, it could die out of depression in 1 day, just 1 day, or because there is a lot of illness in the vets, like from other animals, so that's another risky. What?
Bacteria and virus.
Yeah, there's a lot of bacteria and virus in vets too, so that's another thing to keep in mind. Yeah, that was my experience. It was not a good experience. Yeah, be careful with the pets.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Prevention is better than care, so just to not to have to go to the vet and not to have a sick bird, do the right thing and just kind of feed them right, handle them right, let them fly. They will be so healthy if they can fly. They will have better breast muscles. They will be more sane, more healthy, more happier. Clip birds, and they turn into a couch potato, and then they get sick faster, and then they kind of eat and overeat, and they are bored, and all what they do is just eat, and then they don't have a high life expectancy. But anyway, yeah, just use your judgment, guys. I recommend getting the sick bird treatment kit. Here's a link. The link is down at the video. The link is in the description, and I wish I had that, but my friend told me about it. The sick bird treatment kit is like $100, and it comes even with a little booklet, and you can treat the birds and the symptoms with the powder and the medicine that comes with it. So just be careful, use common sense, and just remember that not all vets are looking out for you, and they don't really care. They see dead animals every day, and they are not really sensitive. There are some good vets. I'm not speaking for all vets, but most vets I know are vampires, and they just suck out your money and you end up with a dead bird. And yes, yes. Okay guys, so let me know what you think. Comment below, give us a thumbs up, give us a like, subscribe, and hit the notification button, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye guys.